Fox News because Laura Trump actually went on the Breakfast Club during the election campaign. And so he returned the favor and he had a conversation about Laura Trump, about the current job that Trump is doing, which it also includes lower taxes, if he's delivered during the time that he's been in office so far, and if he's actually deporting the right people, including the illegal migrants that may not necessarily be committing crimes after they committed the crime of coming over here across the border illegally. So I thought this would be an interesting conversation. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
All right, well, Charlamagne, I'm so honored to have you here. Thanks for coming on My View.
Laura, thank you for having me. You did Breakfast Club. I had to return the favor.
Yeah, we're trying to reciprocate. I appreciate that very much. So look, we're 6 months into President Trump's second term in office. Now, I know you've been critical. You've had your bones to pick with President Trump. If you took his name out of it and looked solely at what has happened, the policies and the things that have changed around the world and in our country over the first 6 months, how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating,
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in. I'm not for. And, he ran on that. Like, he ran on, the economy. He ran on saying that, grocery prices were going to be down. And,
That has happened.
No.
Inflation is trending down. And by the way, Medicaid, we want to make sure that people who are not.
Charlamagne says no. No. Well, it's a way for us to be able to find this out and figure it out. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of research right now. Because this is the reason. It's funny because they say I wouldn't be able to stand in front of this guy. He doesn't even know that inflation is much different than when Biden was in office. He has no clue that inflation is much different than when Biden was in office. Okay, well then let's talk about it. Inflation is around 2% today. As of June, they haven't actually released the data for July yet. But it's around 2.5% to 2.7% inflation. All right. That's not my opinion. As of July 2015, on July 15, 2025, inflation was at 2.7%.
See how he just said, because he just found out that inflation then went up since Trump been in office. 2.67%. He just fact checked you. Now what you gonna say? Are you gonna be like Trump and say those numbers are fake? Or are you gonna deny reality and say those numbers are rigged too? He gonna try to get the CNN polling fired, but they ain't the only one that's saying inflation rate is 2.67%, 2.7%. Inflation went up since January 20th. And he like, cause he just found out. He just saw it himself. Trump is full of shit, bro.
The final accounting on Biden inflation, according to Yahoo Finance. Inflation turned out to be the surprise villain of Joe Biden's 4-year presidency. It arrived with little warning in 2021, hit a 40-year high in 2022, and undoubtedly contributed to Vice President Kamala Harris's loss in 2024. A lot of people don't realize that inflation was little lower than 2% when Trump left office. Inflation was at a little lower than 2%. That's what Trump handed Biden. It hit a 40-year high in 2022. Overall inflation was 21.2% during the 4 years Biden was in office. Earnings rose by 19.4%. So the typical family did in fact fall behind during Biden's presidency.
Now, deflation is a thing too. And that's what happened towards the end of Trump's term. He was at the beginning of his term, he was rocking out to Obama economy, saying it was his. Look at Obama numbers his last 4 years. He the one had that down. And then it was like at 1 point something when Trump left office because of deflation. But sometimes you can't tell nobody nothing.
Conversely, during Trump's 4 years prior to that, over the entire lifespan, inflation only rose by 7.9%, meaning that it averaged around a little less than 2% for the entire time that Trump was in office the first time. And now, hold on, let me see something. In 2022, the peak of Biden's presidency, the U.S. experienced a significant surge of inflation, reaching levels not seen in 4 decades. The Consumer Price Index peaked at 9.1% increase in June 2022, the largest 12-month increase since 1981. That is a fact. This is not our opinion. This is 100% a fact. This is unfortunate. CPI report from March 2022, inflation had hit 8.5% in the United States, the fastest 12-month pace since 1981, a surge in gasoline prices, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. So when you see Charlemagne say stuff like, well, no, that's not true. A simple Google search will actually be your friend. All right? So for a lot of people that sit here and think that this guy is the mouthpiece for the black community and or truly understand politics, Charlemagne waits on talking points from people in the Democrat Party so that he'll be able to have a conversation, hopefully. But it's no way he can actually. Do y'all remember when Laura Trump went on the Breakfast Club and she absolutely demolished the Breakfast Club?
Inflation is trending down. And by the way, Medicaid, we want to make sure that people who are not actual recipients or shouldn't be getting Medicaid are off of Medicaid so it can actually benefit more people. There is good stuff in that bill, though. You have the 2017 tax cuts that are made permanent, and that really is for everybody. But that's for everyone. Everyone in this country is impacted by that. You also have things, by the way, like money going to school choice for parents all across this country. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of good that I think will come out of the big, beautiful bill. But what about things like...
Right now, people are hurting. And he campaigned on immediate change, day one change.
And you don't think you've felt any change? People aren't feeling change.
No.
Do you feel safer knowing that Iran will not have the ability to develop a nuclear weapon?
Iran?
Yeah.
Sure. I feel safe if you're telling me that a country won't have the ability to build a nuclear weapon.
Do you feel better knowing our borders closed?
Yes.
Okay, so there don't
get me wrong. There's certain things that I absolutely, understood. Like, as far as, border security. But I understood border security for different reasons. Like, people were complaining about the border because they felt like people were coming into, the country and, taking jobs away from people in certain areas and certain communities. And that is the conversation that I had been hearing, for the past year and a half prior to the election. I understand that, but I want to see the criminals and illegal immigrants, actually deported.
That's happening.
Not people who are here, trying to go through the process of.
You do realize that the people that Trump is deporting are illegal immigrants, right? He wants to see criminals and illegal immigrants deported. Word out of his own mouth.
And that, but for the past year and a half prior to the election, I understand that, but I want to see the criminals and illegal immigrants, actually deported.
Are liberals and Democrats actually listening to the words that come out of their mouth before they jump on these platforms? Like, do they not know that when you actually get on a platform like this, that you're saying the exact thing that the Trump administration is doing? Like, word for word, you're describing the success of the Trump administration by saying this is what you want. That is exactly what is happening. Do they listen to what's coming out of their mouth? Honest to God.
That's happening.
Not people who are here, trying to go through the process of being in this country legally. Like when you see people actually getting deported and getting detained, and they're actually trying to go through the process of being American citizens, that's not right.
Well, we're allowing those people to leave. They actually get money to leave, and then they get to reapply to come back here the right way. So,
but leave and go where?
They go back to their home country, and then they
what if they've never even been to that country?
Well, you know, they have been to that country. That's where they came here from. But let me ask you this. Hold on.
Some of them haven't, though. A lot of them haven't.
I don't know.
I've seen a lot of cases of people getting deported.
Well, some went to El Salvador who are from Venezuela, but those people have now been sent back to Venezuela. Let me ask you about how the Democrats have responded, though, in the first 6 months of this presidency. How do you rate their response? Because it feels like to a lot of people watching, they don't really have an alternative. And it's a lot of, we hate this because Donald Trump is trying to do it. What do you think of how they've reacted?
When you look at Democrats' approval rating in this country, when you look at Republicans' approval rating in this country, you see that Americans are just fed up with it all. Like, Democrats suck. We know that already, though. You know what I mean? So it's like, I knew that Trump would probably get in office again and fumble, but I also knew that Democrats wouldn't have the team put together properly to recover the ball. So what you're seeing right now from just American people is just a backlash to everything. People want something different.
Well,
This is nothing different than what we experienced during the election. When you ask specifically about what do you think about the job that Democrats are doing, who is it that you actually think is doing a good job during Trump's first 6, 7, 8 months inside of office? You know what? I was trying to figure out who would sit there and talk about Trump. It's Trump. Democrats have Trump derangement syndrome. Democrats have Trump derangement syndrome. They can't even stand on their own. They have no policies. They have no solutions. Their cities are crumbling. They can't balance their budget. The people hate them. They also focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion and keeping you distracted. And then whenever you ask them a question is, I don't like Trump. It is Trump derangement syndrome.
That's how you know this dude just be talking out the side of his neck. Now, somebody in the comments, answer me this. The last time we had a balanced budget, who was the president? I mean, it's just like, come on, bro. Like, I know you're a smart brother. You can't be this stupid. Everybody know Republicans is not good for the economy. They only for the rich. But what about everybody else? They getting the rich richer, the poor poor. Sooner or later, the bubble is gonna burst, bro. Because inflation always go up. They try to keep it at 2%, but money have to be moving. That's why inflation go up. But that's why capitalism, at the end of the day, when inflation keep going up, when wages keep going up, that bubble gonna burst, bro. That bubble's gonna burst. But yeah, and I know this dude is smarter than this, bro. He just playing to his base or his little audience he have on her. But he don't never show the video. Just like the video, I think I'm about to do that video next. The video where Trump was on or was just on a phone interview saying all type of just shit that wasn't true. And even the motherfuckers that supporting him was like, Trump, bro, like, that's not what this is. But he don't listen. He do not listen. And yeah, at the beginning, he tried to Google that inflation rate and figured out it was 2.7%. So he searched up some more shit just to try to fit his narrative. Bro, during COVID, inflation went up. But that's only because we was in the pandemic. The response that Biden and his team had to it, we had the best economy in the world by the time Biden left office. Inflation rate was at 2.3% and it was trending down. Now, with Trump and his tariffs and all that bullshit he doing, inflation is trending upways. Up. It's going up. But yeah, that's it for this video, man. I just had to show you out that some of these black conservatives, bro, they just be so out of touch, and they worship. It's like they can't get out of that house Negro mentality, bro, to worship these white men. Like it's giving kind of sassy too. The way that they be calling Trump daddy and all that shit. These motherfuckers are closeted. They're really closeted. They in that motherfucker. Doors closed. But yeah, that's it for this video, man. This is Reggie Red's reactions. Like, comment, share. Leave a comment. Share with your friends. Share with your family. Share with your MAGA family so we can piss their ass off some more. But I'm Reggie Red. This is Reggie Red's reactions. I'm out of here.